Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross and I was always told I had a voice for radio, so today I'm going to be showing you another character from Pokkén Tournament. We are working our way through all the characters, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be showing you roughly what they're about, some of their best moves, and just giving you a nice little introduction to the character, showing you their playstyle and their moves. I'm a little bit excited, and I think you should be too. So we are going with Victini here and Dragonite, just because why not, quite frankly. And we are going with Gardevoir. Now Gardevoir was requested by somebody on my previous videos, so I hope that person's watching and I hope this is what you were looking for. So Gardevoir's got some nice projectile attacks and we see them straight away, and we throw out a Psychic which hits that Chandelure nice and easily. So let's throw out another one, and that one's going to hit as well. Now Gardevoir's slightly unusual in that a lot of her attacks come from Calm Mind. So back and A is Calm Mind, and then from Calm Mind you can do a bunch of other attacks like Psychic, and we also saw Energy Ball, that big greenish ball that ran out. They all come from Calm Mind. So we get some just close-in attacks here, some nice little poker combos going on, and this does not look like it's going to last long, and just a couple little projectile attacks later, and Chandelure goes down. Now we're using Victini and Dragonite, because Dragonite, quite frankly, is what we're talking about. He's another one of these slow charge, and there is a Calm Mind, and you can see I've now got that stored power running around myself, and this is what Dragonite does. He is slow charging, and I get my synergy burst there. Dragonite is slow charging, but he does a lot of damage. So I use that cheer skill that I usually use, whereby the one you don't use is fully charged for the next round. So I don't ever have to wait for Dragonite to be fully charged. It means in round 2, I've got Dragonite ready to go, and he does a lot of damage. And we saw there a stored power. After using Calm Mind, you've got a bit of stored power. You can then use forward and A to throw that stored power out and do, quite frankly, a whole bunch of damage. And Gardevoir is listed as a technical character, and she very much is. She is one of the more technical characters in the game, because like I say, she's got special attacks like Psyshock that we're going to see, like Magical Leaf, which we'll see get a bit of outing in this video. But she's also got that Calm Mind, which leads on to a whole bunch of other special moves, and it just makes the whole thing a little bit more technical, a little bit more involved, to be perfectly honest with you. So I've gone for Magneton and Quagsire here. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a huge fan of Magneton, but we'll have a look. Maybe you'll disagree with me. It's what the comment section is there for. So, we're off against Pikachu Libre here, and I don't like playing against Pikachu Libre. He's got some good grab attacks. You do not want him to get in close. I throw out a Psychic, but of course Psychic is quite a slow attack. Pikachu Libre just runs right past it, and all of a sudden, she gets. You can see the heart on her tail. I'm not saying that men don't have hearts. What I am saying is that it's clearly a female Pikachu. Pikachu Libre gets in nice and close. She's got good grab attacks. She's got some good combos. This is not going well. I am letting myself get trapped against the wall, and it's not going brilliantly. And just like that, that is a KO. That's what happens when you're against a character that can do something like that. If you let yourself get trapped against the wall, you need to use attacks that can create a little bit of separation. So out comes Quagsire there, and before he actually gets to do anything, Pikachu changes the phase from field into dual phase, and of course when the phase changes, that means the support Pokemon goes away. However, I do get to hit with my burst attack here, so it's not the end of the world. I get to do quite a bit of damage. I will take that. And I throw out a couple of Magical Leafs there, but unfortunately Pikachu comes in with one of his grab attacks. I do like his grab attacks. I don't like losing, but they just look cool. And that, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, that's a Stone Cold Stunner. It's clearly a Stone Cold Stunner. And there's something about watching Pikachu dressed as a Mexican wrestler doing a Stone Cold Stunner that makes me quite happy. So we saw a Psychic, coming out there. Magical Leaf is one of those. Oh, and there's a counter attack quite nicely. a bit of stored energy there. And I hit with a Magical Leaf. Magical Leaf is one of those attacks where you have to be a little way away or hit them when they are in the air. I then do a strong attack to create a bit of separation. It KOs Pikachu Libre, and we go to a deciding match. And I'm back to Magneton. Magneton basically does a quite powerful attack, but he's slow charging and only hits high. So Pikachu Libre just stays on the ground for a minute, and Magneton doesn't hit. And then brilliant, it's a slow charging attack that does I don't like it. It's way too difficult to use. Speaking of attacks I'm not a huge fan of, Energy Ball. It rarely hits, ladies and gentlemen, and it makes me a little bit sad. Here I am trapped against the wall again, combos are going off, I am not liking my chances. Now I do get my Synergy Burst off, and I hit with my Burst attack, but I need to get out from the side. Pikachu Libre keeps getting me into the side, trapping me against the side, and it's not good. It is not going to lead to happy fun time. It is going to lead to sadness and crying. So we throw out a Psyshock there, and we get a Psychic, but Pikachu Libre comes in front of it. I am close here. I've got him down to very little damage, but I'm not actually doing very much. I'm missing my attacks. He's jumping around all over me. He's using his superior speed to avoid my attacks, and he charges in. I keep saying he, I mean she. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It is all over. But it's not the end of the world. One of the things I find about Gardevoir, as I've said, I think she's a very difficult character to play as properly. Now, she's got some good moves. You can see I like things like Magical Leaf and Psychic. They're good attacks. But to be perfectly honest, ladies and gentlemen, especially with things like having to use Calm Mind and all the other attacks coming off of that, it is a difficult Pokemon to use. And I think in that previous game, Pikachu Libre was a little bit too fast, and I just wasn't practiced enough with Gardevoir. As with all of these Pokemon, I've spent a couple hours in the training session. I've had a few fights with them, but it takes much longer than that to really get good with a character. So, here we are against Lucario, and here we're looking for a bit of a comeback. We get some attacks, but they are unfortunately blocked. That was Gardevoir's counter attack. It chucks them up in the air. And we're trying some Magical Leafs, but I'm not getting a lot of luck. So a couple little projectile attacks just for some funsies. You saw a Future Sight there, but unfortunately missed with it. And in comes Lucario, nice and close, and actually doing a little bit of damage. However, I throw out a Psychic. It gets blocked, but that's okay. There's another Psychic going out there, but it does get countered. There is my stored energy. Throwing out that energy I stored with Calm Mind. And here, just a couple Magical Leafs to win. I don't like spamming attacks, using the same attack over and over again. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Sometimes you need to spam attacks, and that's okay. Unless you do it every fight, in which case you need to put more time in. But I'm practicing with Gardevoir. A little bit of spamming as we go is okay. So we see a Psychic, we follow up with a stored energy, and out comes Dragonite. Little bit too quick, because Lucario has immunity when he's on the floor, all Pokemon do, but as Lucario gets up, Dragonite hits, and that is good. Speaking of hitting, in comes Lucario with his Synergy Burst attack, and there is nothing I can do here. He goes through the block, and that is that. But that's okay, because he's not the only one that has a Synergy Burst attack. I've got a Synergy Burst attack, and I have hit full on him in the face as well. And this seems fair to me. He hits me full on with a burst attack, I hit him full on with a burst attack. And you know what? I can accept this. So we throw out a little bit of a Psychic there, and that hits quite nicely indeed. Couple projectiles. Am I going to use stored energy to finish out, or stored power I should say, to finish off this fight, or am I just going to throw some projectiles out, maybe a little poker combo? The jury is in, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about little poker combos. You can see after using Calm Mind, Gardevoir has that little line rolling around her body. So, what I do with these characters when I get to grips them, like I say, I go into the training mode. There's some really good training modes in this game with these Pokemon. And I go in, I learn all of their moves, and I learn a bunch of combos, spend a good couple hours in the training mode. And then I start doing a whole bunch of fights, and then I record a video to show you what I've learned, to show you the basics of the character. These are not supposed to be expert videos, they're supposed to be fun, entertaining videos, which are hopefully interesting to watch and should, he says, introduce you to the basics of the character, the different playstyles, the main moves you may wish to use with those characters. I will be going online with these characters, I will be showing you some of these videos, and I'll be letting you know my username so you can battle me on Pokkén Tournament. But fighting online is reserved at the moment for characters like Chandelure and Garchomp. If I haven't reached level 50 with a Pokemon and played with it that much, I don't feel that confident going online. So you see, I've used my Calm Mind, I've got that little wave there, out comes the stored power, and now that line goes away. I've used that power I stored. Here I've got my Magical Leaf, which is very similar to Suicune's Blizzard attack, which we saw coming out there. They both jump up and hit diagonally down, and do a fair bit of damage, but they can be difficult to get the spacing right and actually hit with. Now here, I'm blocking a bit too much. Suicune comes in with a bit of a grab. Not ideal, but we can live with that. There goes another stored power, and a couple of projectiles. Magical Leaf comes down. He's almost done, and out comes Croagunk. Oh, I do a bit of damage, and I give you a negative status effect. Oh, that's not ideal. But you know what? I can live with that. So now I call in a bit of the old Sylveon, and she recovers a bit of health, gets rid of some negative statuses, I believe. You know, she's okay. She's not amazing, but I want to show you some of these different characters there. So my defense there goes up a little bit, but I get hit with a Blizzard straight away, which is, shall we say, not what I was looking for. But I get my Synergy Burst going here. And I get my burst attack. Is it going to hit? I'm hoping it does. No. Doesn't do what I'd like, unfortunately. Yeah, Sylveon, she increases your defense and heals a little bit of XP. Not the most overwhelming support Pokemon ever. But over all of these videos, I'm showing... Oh, I hit with Psychic there. Over all of these videos, I'm showing you all the main characters. It's only fair I show you all the support Pokemon as well. So we get a little bit of a combo going there, and then we go back into some ranged attacks, trying to keep Suicune at bay. We've got some stored power we can use should we need it, but a Blizzard comes in, and that is all she wrote. That Blizzard is quite a nice attack. But with the Cheer skill that I'm using, that means that now I've got a boost to the burst gauge, and I've got a full support gauge for whichever Pokemon I want. First, we're going to hit with a grab. Now we're going to get the burst going. Now we're going to get the burst attack going. And this time it's a much different story, right in the face. And now, all of a sudden, this is looking a lot better than it was before, ladies and gentlemen. Now it looks like we are rolling, and this is good. So out comes Croagunk, and... Oh, Gardevoir, we get a few little attacks in there. That's not going too bad. The Blizzard goes over us this time rather than doing a lot of damage. But Suicune comes out with his counter-attack there and gets a few good hits in. Then gets a little combo of his own going on. We see a little bit of blocking, but now it's my turn for a combo. Gardevoir getting a nice combo, knocking it back into field phase. A Psyshock being thrown out there to do a bunch of damage. Magical Leaf comes in, and now Suicune is very much on the ropes. But an Aurora Beam from Suicune knocks back into dual phase. And now we get some combos going. Now Croagunk comes out, he's going to do some damage, he's going to buy me some time just for a second, and this grab attack should finish it off, especially seeing that Croagunk lowered Suicune's defense right before we went in. Bit hairy for a minute there, ladies and gentlemen, but out comes Gardevoir, and now we're looking alright. We are 3-1 going into the final round against, I believe, Lucario, if I remember correctly, and I'm starting to like my chances. I think Gardevoir is going to be one of these characters that I put a little bit more time and effort into. Like Suicune I saw in my previous video. At the moment, I'm over level 50 with Chandelure and Garchomp, and getting high levels really just means I've put a lot of time and effort in. It's really indicative of winning lots of fights or playing lots of fights rather than really getting to a high skill level, but it does mean that I've put a lot of time in with those Pokemon, and I'm getting alright with those Pokemon. Something like Gardevoir, I like Gardevoir, I think there's a lot of potential there, I just have not put anywhere near enough time in. But certainly enough to show you a little bit of fun here. So we get a Psyshock nice and early to knock it into dual phase, we throw out a Psychic, and Lucario needed to get out the way. Although Psychic is easily blocked, your opponent does have to go to a bit of effort to get out of the way to block it, and that's pretty good. That makes me happy. It means that you're forcing your opponent to play in your way, and that gives you an upper hand tactically. Now, I throw out another Energy Ball there, and it never really seems to hit. I think I hit one early on a Suicune, but it doesn't really do much good. A Bone Rush comes out from Lucario, and I hit with a Dazzling Gleam to knock him right back, which makes me happy. Here, we both get a little bit of blocking, so I try a counter-attack, it doesn't work, and Lucario tries a counter-attack, it does work, and he follows up with a Bone Rush. In comes Victini. Now all my hits are going to be critical, and I get a boost to XP, and really, Lucario here is forced to block. All of my hits are going to be critical for a short period of time after using that Victini, and when every hit you hit is critical, that helps. But you know we are not using this pair for Victini. We are using this pair for Dragonite. That attack is awesome. It is slow building, but my cheer skill means he's charged up and ready to go at the beginning of this fight, and I am going to be trying to use him. So we see an Energy Ball and a Dazzling Gleam, both of which miss, and in comes Lucario with a Bone Rush to knock me back, and now we're back into dual phase, and oh, what's that? Is that a Dragonite? Hey, Dragonite. Now I get my Synergy Burst going, and oh, but so does Lucario. We've got a couple of Mega Pokemon here now. Remember that all the Pokemon in the game that have Mega Evolutions, when they Synergy Burst, they just go into their Mega Evolutions. So now we've got Mega Lucario and we've got Mega Gardevoir. I hit with my Burst attack, I hit with a couple of ranged attacks, and I seem to just be standing there. Oh, and that is a Dazzling Gleam, which really hit quite nicely. And a Stored Power is all it takes to finish Lucario off. And you see there at the end a hint of Gardevoir's power. That Dazzling Gleam into Stored Power. You know, using Calm Mind into a Dazzling Gleam, using the power stored there to then use Stored Power, really helped to finish out the game quite nicely. Now, you know the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got any comments, there's a comment section. Stick them down. Click that like button. It will make me pretty happy. Click that subscribe button. It will make me incredibly happy. And if you've already clicked the subscribe button, get a friend to subscribe, or a family member, or an acquaintance, or some dude you just dragged in off the street. Either way, I will be happy. The most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.